Hello, I'm Commander WiggyB. This is Elite Dangerous version 2.4, and welcome to the first video in my new Interesting Builds series. The episodes in this series are intended to showcase some more unusual and fun ship setups for commanders to try. I wouldn't necessarily recommend these builds to new pilots. Like my piracy videos, they're really meant to provide some challenges for players who are a long way into the game. Personally, I find the big ships just too easy. This Conda took my multi-crew Corvette slightly over 20 seconds to dispatch, and that was without crew and without a fighter. Hardly taxing gameplay. As a result, I'm going to be taking a couple of shieldless PvP vultures into the Haz RES during this video. This may sound like stupidity, but Anacondas, clippers, assault ships, gunships, and wings all fall easily to these little beasts. Okay. So let's get back to the station for a quick teardown of the builds and a new canopy. First up is Toothless. Starting with the hardpoints, this ship is fitted with a pair of advanced plasma accelerators. These are large power play weapons from Denton Petraeus. They differ from standard plasmas by having a higher rate of fire, 0.8 versus 0.3 shots per second, which is then offset by a lower damage per shot. The result is a modest net increase in damage per second, 28.7 versus 24.2, but only if you fire regularly and get your shots on target. For a Vulture, the critical figures are distributor draw and thermal load. Both are lower than for a stock plasma accelerator, meaning that a small ship can make effective use of the weapons. I have both parts engineered to efficiency grade 5. This further reduces heat and distributor draw, whilst also providing a small damage buff. The first slot has the dispersal field bonus, which acts like additional chaff, and is effective against turrets. The second slot has the dazzle shell bonus, which, according to the game, temporarily reduces a target's sensor acuity. To be honest, I haven't actually tested this effect in detail, and normally swap this weapon out for one with the target lock breaker bonus when I use the ship for PvP. On to the utilities. All the parts here are unmodified, as I've simply not got around to upgrading them. I have 2 chaff for protection, a heatsink launcher for stealth and putting out dashboard fires, and finally an electronic countermeasure to counter players with packhounds wiping out all my externals. In the Haz RES, another chaff or heatsink launcher would probably be more useful. Core internals next. Nothing too surprising here. I am using reactive composite armour for increased kinetic and explosive resistance. The armour is engineered to heavy duty grade 5. As reactive composite penalises thermal performance, I have selected roles for my armour and hull reinforcements that buff thermal resistance more than the other 2. My power plant is A rated and engineered to overcharged grade 5. This is overkill given the power draw of the ship, but does allow most of my hardware to continue operating even when the power plant has been damaged. Thrusters are also A-rated and engineered to dirty drive grade 5. Boost speed is over 500 and pitch is extremely fast as a result. The frameshift drive isn't all that important for a Haz RES or PvP ship, but I've A-rated it and engineered it with increased range grade 5 anyway. The resulting jump range means that I can easily fly between local systems in this ship. Life support is D-rated and stock to reduce power draw. My power distributor is A-rated and engineered to charge enhance grade 5. This significantly improves my boost and fire rates, allowing me to spend more time on target and dealing damage. Finally, my sensors are also D-rated and stock to reduce weight without making them overly vulnerable. Finally, the optional internals. This is a bit of a monoculture, as you can see. 5 of the 6 slots are fitted with hull reinforcements and all are engineered to heavy duty grade 5. The rolls are pretty good, but not crazy good. I had around 50 tries when I went to the engineer and spread the results across at least 10 hull reinforcements. The ones here are the best of the bunch that fit a Vulture. I should point out that I made a conscious decision not to fit a module reinforcement package to this ship. I have tested both with and without one, and I prefer having more hull. Unless I attack a wing of ships carrying missiles or rails, then I find that module damage is usually minimal. Being able to ram a few extra times is more fun and more useful. Before we leave outfitting, I have a look at the final hull stats. The second size 1 slot is filled with a field maintenance unit. This is the best solution to the hull tank's Achilles heel: canopy damage. After every few scraps, I simply get the AFMU to buff my screen, and as a result I rarely get a blowout. With synthesis of AFMU ammo, I can repair whenever I need to. Okay, popping over to the Statistics tab, you can see that the final armour health is close to 3000, almost 3 times that of a stock Corvette. This is crazy for a fast Vulture, and really helps make this ship my favourite combat toy by far. So that's Toothless. She's small, stealthy, tough, and can spit plasma, just like the dragon. My other hull tank Vulture is the Batwing. The key difference between the two ships is in the armament. This ship is fitted with 2 pacifier frag cannons from Zachary Hudson. These vary from normal large frags in that damage is slightly reduced, but the shot grouping is significantly tightened. I find that this improves overall DPS since, unless you're close enough to read the ship's nameplate, far more of the pellets connect with the target. Both weapons are engineered to double shot grade 5, with the screening shell bonus. This means that each pull of the trigger releases 2 cartridges. A full clip contains 6. Fire rate is high at 7.3 per second, so a full mag can be released as a volley in under a second. During this time, DPS is off the chart. A single pass will often strip a ship's shields. Reload time is also quick, due to the bonus effect. Okay, time to get out into space and kill stuff. The clips I'm going to show are arranged in increasing difficulty. The first few cover single ships with fixed and gimbaled weapons, then ships with turrets, then ships with fighters, and finally a Conda Clipper wing. Let's start with something easy, like a deadly anaconda. One of the primary benefits of a hull tank is not its survivability. It is the availability of extra engine pips since system loading is minimal. I usually run with 3 pips to drives and 3 to weapons. My utilities draw very little power and can be topped up between fights. Having massive amounts of energy spare to direct towards the drives makes a fully engineered Vulture incredibly manoeuvrable. Larger ships with fixed and gimbaled weapons are unlikely to be able to shoot at them at all if they're well flown. The trick to this is simple. Use plenty of vertical thrust and closely manage your throttle to stay in a commanding position out of the firearm. Boost out of the way using lots of vertical thrust and pitch whenever you get close to the front of the enemy. Always remember that in a shieldless ship, maintaining position is far more important than damaging the target. Staying above and behind your enemy makes landing shots far easier, as the surface area they present is far larger. The following brief montage shows a variety of kills where a shieldless Vulture comes out on top with 100% hull remaining. And just to show that advanced plasmas aren't the only viable weapon, here's the Batwing in action. As you can see, the engagement distance possible with pacifiers is far greater than for frags. The top side of this python collects the majority of a cartridge from 500 meters away. As with all frag cannons, the downside is limited ammo capacity. Killing this python took a considerable chunk of the total. Were it not for this, I would probably prefer pacifiers over advanced plasmas. This next clip shows just how effective the pacifier can be, and why it's a great PvP weapon. Now on to some slightly more difficult targets, where I actually take some damage. The following ships all carry at least one turret, which makes manoeuvring out of their fire arcs considerably harder. Having double chaff blunts the effectiveness of the enemy turrets and allows you to chaff virtually continuously if required. I rarely find this necessary, however. At the start of this fight, my hull was on 65%. Just before the cheeky little ram, I was on 62%, so a total of 3% was lost to the turrets. After the final collision, I was on 55%, meaning that the boost ram only cost me 7% hull. Here's another deadly anaconda. Sadly, RNGesus didn't bestow a single elite conda during the sessions that I was recording. This particular ship had a rather nasty habit of hitting my canopy. The first warning, canopy critical, occurs at about 75% integrity, and I usually ignore it. The second warning, canopy at 50%, is where I start to take notice. With a bit of practice, switching to the Modules tab and starting an AFMU repair takes around 5 seconds. This is well worth the effort, as by the end of the fight, my canopy was fully repaired. A Class 1 AFMU will repair the canopy from 50% on 2 or 3 occasions before running out of ammo. Other modules can also be repaired if required. This fight began with my hull on 97% and ended with it on around 91%. Ship-launched fighters do pose a threat to hull tanks, but the accrued damage is manageable. Shooting them with fixed plasmas or pacifiers is simply not worth the effort. The best tactic is to ignore them and try to dispose of them on the ship as quickly as possible. This particular fight took my hull from 76% to 62%, and that's about as bad as it gets for single ship combat. This final clip shows that fighting against a wing isn't out of the question, although I do have to admit that I didn't bother to check what his wingman was flying. Regular use of chaff kept the Clipper's guns off me while I disposed of the lead ship. After that, the Clipper proved to be pretty squishy. I've now flown many hours in the Haz RES using this ship, and I've only been killed once, and that was by a set of players who kept trying and failing to steal my kills. In all other circumstances, I've run out of ammo long before I've run out of hull. What I do love is the challenge. You can't be lazy flying a hull tank, as getting in front of a huge plasma cannon will be terminal. Okay, so that's it for this video. I don't consider myself to be a particularly gifted combat pilot, but I do hope that you found it useful. If I inspire a couple of people to build a PvE hull tank, then I'll be happy. If you liked this video, please do leave a like and a comment. If you hated it, please let me know why. Constructive criticism will be gratefully received. 07 Commanders, Wiggy B out.